It's all right. Hopefully we're live. Hopefully this is working-ish. We'll see. No, I don't want the chat overlay here. I'm trying a different platform, trying Restream instead of StreamYard. Also tested out the mic and it worked, so we should be decent-ish. I'm gonna just refresh the stream over here on Restream. Take 4. Yeah. Can you guys hear me? It works. It works. Sound works. Awesome. 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 So I might just have to fuck with StreamYard because it seems like StreamYard's having issues. OBS was having issues. So whatever. I don't know what once again, I don't understand. I literally changed computers. I took my Thai computer, I threw it across the room, disconnected everything, reconnected everything. I changed 2 mics. Look at this. 2 girls, or what? Sorry, I don't know how many girls. We won't talk about that. 1 guy, 2 mics, 2 microphones. Right? We got 2 microphones here, so it's not just the mic. Wasn't the microphone issue? I confirmed that. It wasn't a other issue. So yeah, we're here. We got it. It's working. That's all that matters. I really don't care. I guess I should add a thumbnail. I mean, that might be nice. I guess I should add the thumbnail again. Hold on. Let's do that real quick. Okay, let's get the stream actually set up behind the scenes here. Let me put on my troll protection. All right, we got to get subscribers mode. We got to get a little bit of slow mode here. All right, there we go. All right, we got the digital condoms on to protect us, and I think we're finally good to go here. No, people want me to play the clips. I can play 0 clips on this because I don't think I have uploaded onto Restream anything. This is using Restream, not StreamYard. You can even see that because it's got the dumb little Restream watermark in the upper right-hand corner, and that's because I've only set this up once. But the cool thing about Restream is I can make an overlay. So I could have an overlay. I'm not even sure how to use the overlay though. So if I do the overlay, oh, there we go. Oh, does that show the chat? That's actually kind of cool. It's actually kind of cool. All right. So real quick, Baton. I think I can highlight this one, right? Yeah. For check 20. Did Johnny Somali true your wires? Maybe. Thank you for that, Betten. Appreciate you, brother. Oh man, this is back to the days where I have to actually track super chats. Holy shit, this is gonna be so bad. I'm gonna hide the overlay though, because you guys are too degenerate. But I do appreciate everybody. Thank you all for joining. Appreciate you for coming through. I guess I'll post this new link. Hold on. I'll post this new link in my Twitter. So, so it actually works. So it actually works for the 5th time. All right, here we go. Let me delete this bad boy here and go ahead and post the right one. So everyone's got it. Oh, too funny. Guys, I'm a professional streamer, in case you guys didn't know. I'm a professional streamer. Well, yeah, not scuffed. All right. Thank you guys for your patience. Appreciate that. Thank you for jumping on and coming back and getting back in. I do appreciate everybody here. Thank you so much for that. And thank you for your patience. Let me just put this in my locals. Okay, so everybody should know now. All right, cool. All right, so welcome back, everybody. Of course, I am here back in Thailand. So I am in Thailand for business. Now, I thought I was going to be going back to Seoul on the 19th. I did have a trip planned to Taiwan that I was going to cancel. But now we've got the trial date moved, so I may change my plans on when I'm back in Seoul. That said, I'm still coming back. I mean, at the latest, I'll be there beginning of January again. but I'm back in Bangkok because this is high season over here, and I have many a client in town. Doug Diaz gifted 5 Legal Mindset memberships. Thank you so much, Doug Diaz. I don't have the reactions. I want to say real quick, I do not have any reactions uploaded on this, so all I can do is say thank you. But I do appreciate it sincerely, Doug. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Also, Georgia Harm, thank you for the member who, I guess, oh no, you guys are getting the gifts. Oh, it's showing me who gets them. Well, say thank you if you got them. Georgia, Little, Dan, say thank you for those gifts because they're courtesy of your man, Doug Diaz. Doug Diaz. All right, cool. I think that's what I got here. Just double checking that I caught up here. Okay, cool. This is so chaotic. The chat is so chaotic. All right. So let's get started today, right? Let's get started, shall we? I've got a PowerPoint for you, of course, as always. And I will show that to you guys right here. Let's see. Share this screen. I can share the entire screen. I love it. Over here. Cool. All right. So there we go. I think I want to be small in this. Yeah, that's fine by me. It's fine by me. Can I move myself to the other side? Oh no, I don't want to do that. I want to be small. Yeah, there you go. Okay. So we've got an update here on Johnny Somali. Rough morning. Well, it's evening here, Thai coffee. You should know that. Especially if you're in Thailand. You should know it's evening. The scuff took it out on Andrew's hair. Well, I was diving everywhere in this room to get this thing fixed. So, you know, I'm just glad it's fixed, guys. I'm just glad it's fixed. All right. So we're going to talk about what happened, why the change, which is a little bit of fact, a little bit of speculation, and what's going on in the Johnny Somali case. So here we go. So officially, we have an update that Johnny Somali, aka Ramzi Khalid Ismail, the date of his trial has been moved by the judge. So I'm going to say this a couple times. By the judge, which is very material. It was not at the request of the defense counsel or of Ramzi. In fact, I have it on good word that he, in fact, has said both publicly and privately that he thought he was going to be leaving before the end of the year. He thought he was going to show up to the trial and he was going to walk out and go home and be free to go and pay a fine and walk out. Now he is not going to be leaving for a very, very long time. A very, very long time. So it has been moved from December 20th, which means there will be no trial on December 20th. So if you were somebody who was going to go out there and wait outside the courtroom and stuff like that, you don't got to anymore. It has now been moved. Now, this is mostly good news. However, there's one part that's a little bit bad, and I'll get to that. So we're going to talk about that today. So first of all, what's the actual day? The specific date of the trial, which I know everybody is going to copy me on. Everybody's going to take this information, and that's fine. I want to give it to the world. Is March 7th, 2025. Okay? March 7th, 2025. So we've got to wait that's almost what, 4 months, 3-4 months? I don't math so good. What is it? So 1 month is January, 2 months is February, 3 months is March. So 3 months. Right? I can barely, I'm a lawyer. Come on, we're not so good at math. But 3 months. We got to wait a whole 3 months to get to this. Right? And he's got expenses for all those months. We'll talk about that. So this is the date. I will, of course, still be there. I will 100% be there on that trial date. So don't worry about that. I will be there. One dickhead said it, and this is a very true statement. Member for 11 months at BLM level. Funny, the process is part of the punishment. Yes. So one thing that you guys may have heard of in the American context is you may have heard of the concept of speedy trial. So, you have the right to a speedy trial. You have the right to have your claim adjudicated, fairly quickly. That's not the case in Korea, right? There's not really the same sort of ability to push them to trial earlier. So the thing is about this being requested by the judge, and let me go back here, is this is not coming from Johnny's counsel. Now, oftentimes, defense counsel will want to defense counsel will want to delay the trial, but because it's by the judge, there's no way to get it sooner. He cannot leave Korea until his trial, even if he goes to trial and pleads guilty. And mind you, like I said, even if he pleads guilty, it's not over on March 7th. It would probably be April before he's sentenced, even if he shows up and pleads guilty. So he now has, I would argue, 4 months of costs that he's got to pay, and he cannot stream. Because, by the way, he has no work visa. If he starts streaming while he's there, it's very clear, like in that case specifically, where he's not on a work visa, he shouldn't be doing anything. So he's got other potential violations if he's making money that way, right? He's stuck. No money, no friends, no nothing else. Very few friends. And I guarantee you, by the way, after 4 months, all those friends, those people that have been his cuddle buddies, they're going to get real annoyed with him after 4 months of him being a bum, after 4 months of him being a freeloader. Imagine if someone's on your couch for 4 months. It's one thing if it's 1 month. It's another if it's 4 months. So let's go through some of the facts here, because there's going to be a lot of misinformation on this, and I want to clear all this up. Because there's a lot of other channels, and guys, I do want to be very clear. There are a lot of other channels that are providing misinformation and even dangerous misinformation. So please be very, very careful with the stuff you consume and watch. People will forward me stuff and they'll say, "Oh, look, these are statements by Johnny or Gino that they're making, and they're from old videos that people are recycling." Now, I'm honest with you guys. Sometimes I do review old video, but I say, hey, it's an old video, and I'm reviewing it for the sake of legal analysis, for the sake of determining whether or not crimes were committed, potentially one way or another. But, people are like, oh, look, Gino's turning on Johnny. And they send me clips, and it's from a video that's from, 4 months ago, 3 months ago, 6 months ago, a year ago. Right. So be very careful with misinformation. But that said, with this, the facts are we right now have the same charges, which for now, and the key word is here, for now, the only charges we have against him are two things: obstruction of business and violation of the Minor Crimes Act. Okay? Everything else is not at trial yet for now. So that's all we have. We have the same court and courtroom for now. Now, I think that they may, and I don't want to spoil anything, but the particular courtroom he's in is not very big. And I think there may be more people attending than they expect. So they might want to move him up to the big courtroom. But that said, he's still in the same courtroom for now, under the jurisdiction of, like we talked about last stream, 102. We talked about the Western District. He's under the jurisdiction of the Western District. Same prosecutor for now. Same judge for now. Now, this is going to change. So the prosecutor and judge are going to change. Yes. Yes. Oh, yes. So we're going to pay attention to that. All right. So now we're going to get into the hypo section. Why did the judge change this? Because this is something the judge decided to do. It's not something that Ramsey said, not something the prosecutor wanted. It's something the judge decided to do. Now, the judge is privy to a lot of information. Judge is privy to a lot of information. And let me read some super chats here. Mark C said for 2, there are more important cases than Cabbage Boy. Well, I'm going to be covering a lot of issues. I think this is a very important case. It's an extremely important case. But yeah, of course, I'm going to cover other issues. I mean, like I said, I'm going to cover some Niji Sanji stuff. There's other stuff I'm going to bring up and cover. So don't worry about it. I've got tons of stuff to cover. I've actually got too many topics to handle. But that said, I'm seeing this Somali case all the way through. Professional gentleman said, hello, modem died. It's been a long, long week waiting for them to replace it. I understand, man. So are you saying you're having tech issues, professional gentleman? I might be able to empathize. I don't know why. All right. So everything here is a hypothesis, but it is a hypothesis that is based on, I think, good information. And it's based on like reasonable, educated guesses. So this is a hypothesis that is based on educated guesses. It's based on talking to people with experience in the system, etc. So why would the judge move this? Well, I want to make it clear. The issue is perhaps that this went too quickly through the stages of the criminal process. So what I think may have happened here is I think this may have jumped too quickly from stage 1 to stage 4. And typically, like I said, that stage 2 and 3 are each supposed to take 2 to 4 months. So a process that was supposed to take up to 6 to 8 months happened in less than a month. So both the police investigation and the prosecutors set this for trial in less than a month. And now they're reeling back and they're saying, okay, we're going to push it out again, which is very interesting because now it's looking more like a regular timeline. So if you look at this going down in November and then a trial in March, that looks more like a typical Korean investigation speed, right? It's about 4 or 5 months of investigation. That's more typical than 1 or 2 months. So this was going very, very fast, but there's a lot of things they could have realized when this was going very, very fast. And let's look at that. What could they realize? Well, first of all, they could have realized they could be evidentiary issues. So let's focus on this. So here's a theory. Once again, these are all theories. Now, they're theories based on conversations with Korean lawyers, people with knowledge in the Korean legal system, etc. But the theory number 1, the judge is aware of the issues regarding the evidence, witnesses, or investigation. So meaning they want more witnesses to come forward. They want more evidence. They need more investigation. So the process would normally take months, and it was expedited to move it to December 20th. So moving it to March 7th, will go back to a normal pace. So I'm kind of going to give you like a pro con, like this is why this theory could be legit. And then I'm going to argue against that theory. I'm going to give you a counterpoint. So it's very possible they are pushing it out to March to get more evidence. However, the counterpoint to this is that the charges against him are a slam dunk with the evidence they have. With the evidence they have, the clear video, they don't need a lot of witnesses or anything else. They just show the video and it's like, yep, he's guilty, done. So this one, while it could be true, it's not necessarily bulletproof as a theory. Next, and this is the one that I think most of you guys are talking about, and a lot of people are talking about, adding charges. So, of course, by delaying, you have more opportunity to add charges. So the judge is aware of many other charges that may be added to his case. March 2025 allows plenty of time to properly investigate or add other crimes to the trial docket. We know there's many other complaints against Ramsey, both victim complaints and third-party reports. So that's kind of the difference we talked about last time. And I talked about one of the more nitpicky details is there is a difference in the seriousness with which a victim reports a crime and a third party reports a crime. If a victim reports a crime, they take it very seriously. If a third party reports a crime, they do not take that as seriously unless there's a lot of people reporting the crime, which could be the case here. The counterpoint to adding charges is many of the things happened outside the Western District. So they're outside of the jurisdiction of the current court. So why would the judge in the Western District give a shit? And excuse my crassness, but why would they care about what happened in Jamshid, which is in the Eastern District? So for example, if we're talking about the Lotte World incident, if we're talking about a lot of the other kind of back and forth with the Korean YouTubers and Johnny Somali, a lot of that happened in Jamshid in the Eastern District. So why would the Western District delay to add charges that would go in the Eastern District? Well, it could be to counter the counter that they're thinking about the pizza incident. Now, the pizza incident was a different night, but it is fully within the power of the Western District Court to bring into the same case anything that falls within its jurisdiction, i.e. that happened in Hongdae. So if two things happen in Hongdae, even on different nights, which they did, they happen on different nights, they could bring that within the purview of the court. So it is possible. I'm going to get a couple of these super chats just so I don't miss them, because obviously, sorry guys, but Restream is not as well organized. So I want to make sure I get these now. Personality of a brick wall said, how many times can the judge keep changing the trial date? The judge can change it as much as they want. So the judge could push it out very, very far. Good question. Let me also move oh wait, no, that's not what I wanted. Let me stop sharing for a second. And then go back to, I'll just stop sharing. Go back to the main screen. All right, we'll do this for a second. No name. So judge wants to spend all his money in South Korea. He will. So even with the cheapest food, like you're eating triangle kimbap, the little like onigiri kimbaps, you're still going to be spending thousands of dollars a month, even if you're eating like convenience store food every single meal. It's going to add up. Food can really kill you in South Korea if you don't have money. Richard Cummings said he's no longer Johnny Somali. He's Kimchi Khalid. Oh, no. Kimchi Khalid. I like it. Mr. Seeker said, you said violation of his visa. That could be added to potential charges. Actually, he doesn't even have a visa. He's actually on a visa exemption because he's an American and we have Americans have a visa exemption. So he's actually not even on a visa at all. So he has no permission to work. Essentially, to work in another country, if you are not a citizen, you need to get special permission by obtaining the right type of visa, right? So for example, in Thailand, I have a business visa and I'm allowed to do certain things like up to and including what I do right here, right? You know, when I was in Korea, I had proper visas to do what I did, right? So you need to do that long term. Well, Johnny doesn't think long term. Johnny thinks he's there for 2 minutes and leaves. Well, the problem is now the eye of the whole country is on him and the eye of the prosecutors. And if they see him making a bunch of money streaming, which he won't, because he doesn't know how to do anything that's not annoying. He doesn't know how to have a factual or informative or, you know, real conversations with his viewers. They're going to shut him down. So even if Johnny tried to, like, I don't know, you know, he tried to teach, breakdancing on online, right? That would be a violation right there. That'd be a crime because he's working without work authorization, right? Turtle for 2 said, hold his head underwater until the bubbles stop. Okay. Guys, don't be very careful with I read super chats. Be careful with threats of violence. Obviously, I don't encourage violence or anything against anybody, right? Andres says, hello, Legal Mindset. Love to see you live. What about if you get an OnlyFans and do legal advice totally naked? I'd buy that for $1. Yeah, that's not happening. But thank you for the super chat. Kind of some degenerate super chats here. Thank you. Project Libertad said Andrew and Astor collab, Johnny and Astor collab when. Oh, that's hilarious. I'm going to be covering the Astor story, Niji story next. That's going to come up on my next stream, so don't worry about that. 5150 Holt says, do you think this will mentally break him? Yes. He actually probably is. The craziest thing that's going to mind break him here, guys, is that he is learning about this likely from me and my stream before he learns about it from his lawyer. Because lawyers don't work in the evenings. And most of the time, these court records are updated between 10 p.m. and midnight. So a lot of times, these court records that I may or may not be privy to are getting updated at a period of time in which he doesn't know, but I know, and I'm talking about it live with all you guys. So it's a fun world. It's a fun world. And this is what happens when you fuck around in a country where you don't have real friends or allies. You don't know lawyers. You don't have legal support. You don't have a team. You don't have people, right? And you pissed off the whole nation. You thought that they're not going to have more information in a country where you don't even speak the language? Come on, man. JP Ravenfire says, does Korea have statute of limitations like the US? I'm not sure, but at this point, that wouldn't be applicable because they've already set the charges. So the SOL wouldn't apply. That's already been, it's already been met. The ones that they filed. So that's not going to be the issue. That's not going to be the issue. So, but good thought. But I'll look into it and see if there would be like for maybe if the prosecutors do not file within a certain time, there's an SOL. I'm not sure on that. But once it's engaged for trial, the SOL wouldn't be applicable. Statute of limitations, I mean. Benton says for 100 check. To be fair, I don't think it's normal for the process to get so many charges from all over the place for so many people with how many things. So taking a step back to look over the situation makes sense. Yeah, I know. It does make sense. It does make sense. Right? Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So let's continue. Let me share this again because we're not done with the theory. All right. So that was theory. So theory one. Well, let me go here. Picture in picture. Theory one was evidence. Theory two is charges. And this is one of my, the ones where I think it's very, very relevant is judge rotation. So this is something I learned about today, once again, from people who have a very deep knowledge of the Korean legal system. I am not a Korean lawyer, so I rely on other people, and this is something that was explained to me. So in Korea, judges and prosecutors are rotated. So they don't stay judges and prosecutors the entire time. So here's the thing. These charges were filed now, but there's a very good chance that if they started in December and they had an actual trial, there might be a new judge because new judges and potentially prosecutors are coming in 2025. So imagine you have a new judge and they come in and they're halfway through a trial. That's kind of a pain. But if you come in and this is something that you're dealing with from the start, that's different. So you're handling the entire case open to close. And that can be a good thing. That can be a good thing. By the way, this is obviously pretended South Korea. These are American, Judge Judy over here and the judge from Providence. Very nice guy. Okay. So the theory is, this is the kind of crazy theory, is that the judge wants out. So the judge might not want anything to do with this case. The judge may be like, you know what? Screw this case. I'm out. And he may have bumped it because of that. And my support for that is, would you want to deal with the Johnny Somali case as a judge? This mess? Now, to counter, I don't know the judge's state of mind. This really relies on me, like looking into the judge's state of mind. But to be honest, people kicking the can down the road is a story as old as time. So I think this is a valid theory. Now, before I get into my prediction, let me get some of these comments here. Modnerer says, do you think the judge pushed the date back because more people are coming forward? I think that could be a factor. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, we know that other people are pressing charges, so that would make sense. Let me swap that. I like to be on the left-hand side. There you go. All right. Thai Coffee said, I approve of good old-fashioned Southern justice. Andrew knows what I'm talking about. That's fine. That's fine. Turtle says, no violence. Never said who just until the bubble stopped. Yeah, but be careful, Turtle. Be careful, Turtle. I try to play on the light side of YouTube, but I do appreciate it. Thank you. Once again, I understand the feeling. Andres for 100 said, now for real, would you defend him if other streamers pay you like $1 million? No, I would never defend Johnny. And I'm not qualified. I'm not a Korean lawyer, so I wouldn't defend him. But even in America where I could, I wouldn't do it. If he came to Florida and committed a bunch of crimes, I wouldn't do it. He said, I would not. He's disgusting and would be good for yeeting. Now there's martial law. No, there's not martial law. Like, guys, I'm going to be honest with you, and I love a lot of content creators, but to be honest, a lot of other content creators on YouTube are milking that for more than it's worth and more than it is. And they're misrepresenting what happened because most of them are not even in South Korea. They've never been to South Korea. If you guys saw my videos, everything was perfectly fine the next day. I was out like getting a coffee, going around. The buses were on time. The metro's running. Like, it's not, there was no, it happened at nighttime when everyone was sleeping. And then we woke up and it was done. Well, I was awake because everyone was texting me, but for most people, they slept through it. So that has nothing to do with anything related to Johnny Somali. Although Johnny Somali should be worried that if he speaks up on political topics, which he has been, he may be punished for that because he's been speaking up on political topics. And now is not a time to speak up on political topics. But that said, I think people are overplaying that. It's really, if you look at political shenanigans in the US and other countries, we have, as Americans, I'm an American, obviously, right? But living abroad, we have political shenanigans too. Many countries have political shenanigans, right? So yeah, it's kind of separate from the legal process. Thank you for the 20 legal mindset memberships warranty void. Thank you. Deeply appreciate you. And thank you for that. Let's see here. And everybody who received them, I'm like seeing everybody. Please say thank you to warranty void. And then am I caught up here? I think I got one more. Forgotten Lecture says maybe they delay further to make sure there's enough cabbage to farm. It will be prime cabbage farming season. It will be prime cabbage farming season. Okay. Thank you. I'm looking over here on YouTube. I think I got everything here. Thank you. Oh yeah, and then Bologna Bong says balls of steel. Thank you, Bologna Bong. Thank you. Oh, and then Danny Skier also said somebody is housing him for 40 Thai baht. Says what is bad is somebody's housing him. Explain. I don't know who it is. Apparently there's a Korean dude named Yang, and there's Hank. I don't know who it is. I don't know who's housing him. He's snuggling with somebody. I'm not sure who that is. So who somebody is housing him. And here's what I'm going to say about that. Think about this, guys. Think about this critically. If you had somebody that was staying over at your place and they all of a sudden told you that not only they do not have enough money to pay rent, but they need to be there for like 4 or 5 months, I think they're going to get pretty annoyed with you, right? And you're not paying rent. Rent in Seoul, and now I may or may not officially have an apartment in Seoul, which is really awesome. It's not cheap. So someone could ask for money very reasonably. And if you're rooming with somebody in Seoul, you could be paying $200, $300, $400, $500, $600 easily, depending on where you're staying. Right? That could be a reasonable rent. So is Johnny paying this person, or is he like having to offer whatever else? And I think, one of the things is I think a lot of people, they were friends with Johnny because they want clout. But how is being friends with Johnny helping you with clout? You're actually not getting clout anymore. So I think, I would think people may flip on Johnny. That's all I'm going to say. Saw on the list says, I don't know about the judge. But the prosecution has so many open and shut cases with Johnny Salami, they'll be farming EXP with this clown. Yes, they'll be farming the Golden Goblin. Absolutely agree. Thank you for that. Also, thank you for those guys who sent super chats on the first stream. I do appreciate you guys. Sorry for the scuff. I'm going to try to work on it for the next stream. Mi scusi. Probably something where I have to disconnect and reconnect my StreamYard. I'm going to work on that. All right. So let's go to my prediction. Okay. So here's my prediction. This is a good thing because, number one, it gives time to investigate other crimes. We've put out there that there are potentially other crimes that he's committed, that he's potentially done quite a number of things which should be investigated and should be looked into. And I was very concerned that they were going to essentially not investigate. I was very worried about that. Oh, by the way, someone said it wasn't just you, Andrew. It was a bunch of people having the same problem. Yeah, I think it's StreamYard, and I think it's also the keys, like the keys that are plugged in. I think they have to be like reconnected. I think it's an issue, like a YouTube issue. The reason why this one worked is because it's a new key. I just reauthorized it. So I think YouTube did an update, and that's what screwed me. So I'm sorry about that, guys. No, somebody in the chat said he's innocent of a crime. No, he's not. Not at all. Not at all. There's stuff like the obstruction cases where it's dead to rights. He did it. All right, so that's number one. Number two, victims can come forward. So, for example, I told you guys victim statements are more powerful than a statement that's just coming from a third party. Right? So that's one thing. Let me see. Let me kill the names here. Yeah, that'll be better. Okay, you guys know what my name is. You don't need it to block the text. There you go. So that might be more powerful. Third, it forces him into prison until mid to late 2025. Now, I've said this before. Johnny Salami is the one who's locked up because he's got to pay the money. He's got to stay there. He can't go anywhere. And everyone knows who he is. So he starts messing around. People are going to be on him. He cannot make his normal content. He can't work. He can't do anything. So it's effective prison. So honestly, if he gets a year in prison as a sentence, which is possible, he could get a year. And he's been already in Korea for almost a year with the trial, waiting for it to end. Well, then that's effectively 2 years. You've effectively doubled his sentence by keeping him there. And then you throw him in the prison, and then you send him to the cabbages. Right? Soy Boy Thoughts said for 10 US, I would house Johnny because I wouldn't want him to starve or get permanently removed. I want him to live as a cabbage farmer. That's if you want him to suffer. If you want him to suffer with the cabbages, yes. Yes. Tim Wilson said, are the charges against the prosecutor's office from the Korean Assembly as a result of martial law stuff affecting timelines? No, that's separate. It's totally separate. When the offices are separate, it's not going to affect that at all. Nice thought, but it's not the same thing. X Penguin said, I hate your channel. Not really, for 5 great British pounds. I had sauerkraut yesterday with a meal. I can only think of Johnny Salami farming. Thanks to you. Hey, no problem. Making you think of Ramsey at all times of the day. That's hilarious. Oh, man. Yeah, he can only make content for local YouTubers. Yeah, that's it. Coyote Trickster said, as much as I believe in innocent until proven guilty, so do I generally. When you have video capturing your crimes in 4K, well, can we stop the word alleged? No, I'm not afraid of defamation at this point because it's clear by his actions and it's public interest. Dero Christian, what's up, brother? I appreciate you. Said your passion for this case is contagious. Now I'm making my kids grow cabbage in the yard. Thank you. Hey, man, kimchi is delicious. I love it. I love it. Thank you. And love that interview. We had a great interview. Boog for 20 Mexican says, who's feeding him and housing him? Lots of speculation. So there's a bunch of people. I mean, mainly people speculate it's Hank, but we don't know. So I don't know whether it's Hank or not. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Hank also had some money issues. We saw that on one of the streams. So I don't know. Orsa Flats, thanks for the gift of 10 Legal Mindset memberships. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. So let's continue my prediction here. Remember, he must pay for himself. He cannot work, and food alone is in the thousands. Now, the only negative thing, because you know me, I am 100% objective. The only negative thing is that over time, the amount of public interest will drop. So YouTubers are not, I'm not going to cover this constantly for 4 months. I am going to cover other topics too. Now, I'm not going to let this go. When it comes close to March, I'm going to spin this up again. And I'm also going to cover this updates, but maybe I just have an update once a week. Maybe I have an update once every other week. Maybe there's not that much. There will be updates though. I guarantee you there will be updates, right? But there won't be updates every single day. No, of course not. Right? And part of that is that the YouTubers won't cover it as much. It won't go as far. Some public pressure will drop. Whereas the 20th, it would have been very much in the forefront of everybody's mind. March, it'll be a little bit in the back end. That's probably the only bad thing. Other than that, everything else is good. From a legal procedural standpoint, everything else is good. Andre said Johnny streamed himself having adult fun with a lady boy. What kind of charge would you have? That was in Bali, from what I understood, that people were telling me. And I don't know whether or not that's illegal in Bali. I have no clue. So he's not arrested in Bali. So if he was arrested in Bali, that's one thing. He's not going to get punished in Korea for things he did outside of Korea. Let me be very clear about that. Also, thank you so much for donating to the Ko-Fi, which is now at 100% of the goals. Thank you so much. I do really deeply appreciate that support. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for supporting me, guys and girls and gals and anonymous people. Judy in Kentucky, Let's Go Brandon, Corinthian, Setsuna, Doug Diaz, and two anonymous, actually. Thank you so much for hitting up my Ko-Fi and making that happen. I just want to say I really appreciate you, and I appreciate what you've done for this case. Thank you so much. There was there was an anonymous donor, right? Who got me to the finish line, and I just want to say thank you. That's going to definitely help big time, and I'm going to use that against Johnny big time. Now, of course, I'm not going to let up. I still have stuff that I'm going to be filing with the court, filing with the prosecutors. Yeah, Johnny Somali is tracking every dollar I make. Don't you worry. Thank you. But thank you for everybody. I deeply appreciate you, and it really has helped me cover this case. Okay. So breaching the goal hard. Yes, I love it. Let me make sure I didn't miss any chats here. 50150 Holt says, being serious here. Will he even be alive for his trial? Yes, he will. Nothing's gonna happen. He's in Korea. He's stuck in Korea. Everyone knows him. Will people give him food and water? Yeah, no, look, I'm being serious for a second. Let me be 100% serious here. Okay. He's not going to starve in Korea. There are soup kitchens. There are places for the homeless to go and get food, right? If he was truly homeless, he could go get food. Now, he might get his ass kicked a time or two, but he could do it. He's not going to starve in Korea, like completely, but he'd have to humble himself, absolutely, to put himself in a bread line. Maui Johnny for 2 says mobs involved now equal death. So Jub ran. I don't think so. That's some wild speculation. I don't think it's the change in the date has anything to do with the mob. Sailor Moon for 10 Canadian dollars. Thank you. How did he obtain so much money to finance these trips to different countries? By his viewers. His viewers financed them through their donations. So it was his viewers. So understand, he only got this money through the support of his viewers. Now, some people say there is some speculation he's funded by some outside source that wants him to go ahead and cause these problems. That's speculation. I don't have proof of that. But all I can say is I do know I have seen his supporters funding stuff. So I have seen that. So that's where I would assume it's from. Also, real quick shout out to Dalgun. I think Dalgun is live soon, and I let Dalgun also know about the change. I told him because he was aware of the date and he was going to be there with me at the courtroom. He'll still be there in March, I'm sure. But now we'll just see him a little bit later when it's a little bit warmer. Right. Also, I didn't cancel my ticket yet to Taiwan, so I'll have to see what I do there. That's in some inside baseball with Legal Mindsets travel plans. Raven Black Sparrow Play says Shiba dog shaking his body left to right, surrounded by red hearts. Thank you. Ted Park. Oh, is it the sticker? Is it describing the sticker? But anyways, thank you for that. Ted Park for 10 Canadian says, what do people that have no money do in Seoul? Do they go to homeless camps? There are by Seoul Station, there's homeless that are collected. And there's social programs, food programs, stuff like that. You could probably not a tent, but he could scrape together some like blankets, I'm sure. Maz Galau became a member of the RPG. Thank you. Player Irk 125 said, could Johnny try and get a work visa? No. So because he is under criminal investigation, he is per se, which means automatically not qualified. So if he went to apply for a work visa, he would be automatically denied. If you have any crimes against you, this is a very good question about visas. And it's one that I'm very well equipped because one of my businesses is consulting regarding people who want to move places. And one thing is very clear with Korea, Japan, many of the places, is if you have an active criminal investigation in that country, they're not going to give you a work visa. So a criminal investigation is going to prevent your work visa. Full stop, no go. So he's not going to get that. Asian Dragon says, Andrew, is it possible more victim reports to the judge delay so the prosecutor gathered more evidence of the victim? Yes, it's possible. Lotte World could have come forward. If Lotte World came forward, or the ABC Pizza could have come forward. And even though they're in different districts, maybe they could have been speaking to each other and said, hey, can you slow this down so we have more time on our end? And they could be doing this with discussion. The judge could have called the other judge. We don't know. And once again, I am speculating. To be very clear, this is speculation. It's all within the mind of the judge. The judge did it without telling anybody why. And in the information that I have access to, which Johnny has no idea. In that information, they put the actions that happened, but not necessarily the reasoning. So in the US, we're used to getting a lot of reasoning behind the judge's decisions. We don't get that in Korea as much. So it's just a difference in the system, difference in the process. It's very interesting. Rariobe, off topic. Are you going to talk some latest news of Kursanji? Yes. Niji's looking into the matter of previous actions. Yes. Tomorrow morning, my time, which is in the evening for you guys, I'll be covering Kursanji, assuming I can get this streaming issue fixed. Maybe I'll do a little quick like mini stream to see if everything's fixed. I'm going to try to fix everything, get it going, be good to go on some Kursanji news tomorrow. So we'll be talking about that tomorrow, or rather tonight for you guys in the Eastern United States, in Asia tomorrow morning. Okay, cool. Just a Dank Raven says, an old adage, Johnny will manage to damage his baggage during passage, losing advantage with his cabbage package. Good one. Frank Pareto said he might contaminate the cabbages or odang. Yeah, I'm a little bit worried about him around the odang, the fish cakes. Norbert Frolik, danke for the €5. Candy Carton says, I'm guessing Johnny is making videos, but saving them locally and planning to launch them at a later date. Are they monitoring his phone? They took one of his phones. So they've got that. And I'm sure that they can look into his other devices. Yeah. Oh, did someone ask why I'm living in Korea? Because people don't know this. I've lived on and off in Korea for the last 5 years, almost now, 4 years now. I was in Korea full time for 3 years, 3 years straight, full time in Korea. I moved to Thailand. I have a business here. And now I'm spending a lot of time in Korea. I've always spent a lot of time in Korea, right? And my goal, my intention is always to spend time, sort of like when I was a kid, I used to spend time between North Carolina and Florida. I view it the same way, but with the countries. There's different times a year where countries are really nice and where they're kind of hot or really super cold. So that's my intended living situation. That's always how I plan to be, right? So I will be back in Seoul, and I'm planning on living there long past Johnny Salami, right? Which is why I treat the country with respect, because I want to be there for the long term, not for the short term. That's why, as an expat, I find this very offensive to me, right? And it bothers other expats. That's why expats come up and say thank you. Andres for 1,000 Argentina. Wham. Thank you so much for that. Appreciate you very, very much. Says, many mob members have done videos telling Johnny people are waiting him in jail to send him to the afterlife. So what if he goes into effective prison without being declared guilty? Is he sent off the next life? Will he be probably prosecuted? Well, I don't think, or protected. I think he does have to worry about in jail. I don't think he'll be killed. I think that he might be roughed up, but I think killed is a little far. And I don't wish that on anybody, to be very clear. I don't wish that on anybody. Hagfish for 5 says, I was here on your scuff streams earlier. I went like, Odiga, Legal Mindset, Odiga. Thanks for always doing this, Johnny Somali factual explanation. My pleasure. And we're not done. I've got a little bit more here before we finish. But yeah, thank you, everybody. Thank you for all the donations. Appreciate that. And also thank you over there on the Ko-Fi, the anonymous donation. Really appreciate that. $10 US. To be fair, I was telling defenders of Mr. Ishmael to drop from alleged in their post. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, and once again, some of the things he's actually done, and it's clear. Asian Dragon says, Andrew, when Ramsey does his fake apology to court, the quote I sent in the last live can be taken like John Taffer as a prosecutor and the bar owner as Ramsey Khalid Ismail. So one of the things I'm going to focus on is I'm going to focus on the argument that Johnny's apologies should never be taken seriously, because he has a long history of backing down, of reneging on his, just completely dropping his apologies. So he says he apologizes formally, and then he attacks the judge, attacks the justice system, attacks the country, provokes things. So that's one thing I have some proof on, and the more proof I can get, the better. Yep. Yeah, Thailand's great right now. The weather here is amazing. Amazing. All right. Ismail. Is his name. Yes. All right. So is that all I have for the PowerPoint? Okay, I think that may be all I had for the PowerPoint. So let me stop sharing that. Okay, back to full screen, Andrew. Okay, so that's what I've got for the PowerPoint there. So remember, most important thing, March 7th, 2025. Now, we do have coming up my interview with J Company. I may also interview Bang TV, who I think has for one of the longest people who was chasing and watching Johnny Somali. So those are coming up. There's some kind of Korean YouTubers. And I am also going to do a little bit of a prison episode on what to expect in prison. So that will come up very shortly. So those are things I'm going to be working on, and I've had people giving me comments on. So those will come out in the next week or two, right? In the next week or two. Let's see. You need more PowerPoint. How can you be such a long man with a short PowerPoint? Well, this is a more briefcase update, What are the odds you'll be called as a witness? As a witness, no, but I might make a statement during sentencing. So if I submit a bunch of evidence, I may make a statement during sentencing. Unless Johnny is stupid enough to do something like directly defame me in a very clear way, in which case then I would be a witness and I would be able to file because I'd be a victim. Right? So, yeah. Asian Dragon says, like a using no nonsense method on people who have an ego or don't see a problem doing is wrong. Well, Johnny clearly doesn't view what he's doing as wrong. He thinks that all he did was mess with a statue, and Johnny is not a complete idiot. He does things to try to avoid the law, right? And he knows that, okay, making fun of a statue alone is not necessarily illegal. Yes, that's true. But some of the ancillary things he did to make an ass of himself while he was there are indeed illegal. Wasabista said, I haven't heard much about the drug charges. Surely there's no chance he can skate. Well, if he tested negative, he tested negative. So if he tested negative, then there's not much we can do about that. That's kind of because remember, Wasa, the thing with that is he's either high or he wasn't. Because Korea, it's illegal to be high, which I know is kind of crazy for you people in the US. I mean, for my US watchers, half of you are high. I'm here in Thailand. I mean, I think I get a contact high walking around sometimes. But that said, obviously something could be in your system and then you might not have it on you, right? So Korea actually legalizes the just in your system. So to be honest, if they were going to get him on that, it'll probably be sooner than later, but we'll see. If they don't put the drug charges by the end of December, I'm really skeptical that those will come in. We'll see. And it's probably not the strongest thing against them. I'll say that. Renzo for 125 Philippine peso says, dropping a super to piss a certain pint-sized manlet off. Cheers. Thank you so much. He's counting every peso. He's seeing that I am doing better on a 4 times scuffed stream that I'm doing on a platform that I've never used before. I'm doing better on this than he has on most any of his live streams. Right? Yeah, he's not ignorant. And he knows what he's doing. And he knew what he was doing when he messed with those Comfort Woman statues. He knew. And he did it intentionally, knowing how it would piss everybody off. He knew. All right, guys. I don't want to keep it too long here. Oh, Bob had one here. Would the court ask for a mental assessment? They could. I don't want to keep it too long because I may have another episode to follow up or to give more information on this, or maybe we get some more on this. I just want to make you guys sure you know that the case is in March 7th, that I will be there, that he's not getting away with it, and that this is going to be a great thing because it's going to trap him in Korea with all those costs, all those burdens for months. So that said, guys, that's all I've got for today. And I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your evening, morning, wherever you're outside. Also, thank you for getting me to 190K subs. We have to do a celebration. Maybe I'll combine the soju stream and the celebration because I owed you both. But I got to do the soju stream in Korea. Mukbang or soju outside of Korea. So I'll do it when I'm back in Korea. The mukbang and the soju stream. But here we got to do 190. So let's do that. Danny Skier said, if no judges does it, it will only get worse for South Korea. Yeah. If he's let off the hook, it would be bad. Which is why I don't think he should be. That said, guys, take care. Have a wonderful time. Let's see here. Do I have any? Oh, do I have clips here? Are there clips? Oh, I can upload clips. Oh no, I have to upgrade to do that. Oh, how stupid. Well, I'll just do a little thank you. See you guys later. Peace.